Welcome to a very, very special live edition of the Built by Us podcast. I am your co-host, Jaime Arroyo.
And I'm the other co-host, Kirsten McWilliams.
And we got to pay our bills first. So this special podcast episode is built by the Lancaster County Community Foundation, who uses the transformational potential of community-based philanthropy and the power of endowment to help shape a Lancaster County where every individual is valued, has a sense of belonging, and has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you to our friends at the Lancaster County Community Foundation for making it possible to provide access to training and lending for entrepreneurs.
And again, welcome to our special guest here up at on the stage. We have Jermaine Smith from SpiceKings. Clap it up.
Yeah! Stand up.
Jermaine brought his groupies.
Should I stand up?
That's right. And Keisha Finnie, local artist and entrepreneur. Clap it up.
It's Finnie.
I didn't say Finnie.
Finnie.
Finnie. Okay, there we go. Keisha Finnie. There we go. And then we have Teddy Boucard from Red Rose Books. Clap it up for Teddy.
Let's go, Teddy.
I'm glad they gave me the mic.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight for this special live episode of the Built by Us podcast. We're going to kick off with Keisha here to my right. And as you all know, speaking of people-centered and making sure that we touch on the journeys of entrepreneurs, we like to start off our podcast in 60 seconds or less. What is your superhero origin story of your journey through entrepreneurship?
60 seconds. It's going to be a lot to kind of cram in. But yeah, I'm locally from Lancaster. I went to McCaskey, born and raised. I'm self-taught as an artist, so I've literally worked from the ground up to build everything that I have and that you all see today.
I'll keep going. I'm originally from Cleveland. I moved here in 2004. It's always been a family dream to have a family business restaurant. You know, my whole family cooks, so that's kind of how SpiceKings came about. I've been cooking since a kid, and that's how I got started. And coming up to SpiceKings, I originally started with catering, and it blew up, you know, the Instagram, social media, and it's like, hey, get a food truck or a restaurant, and we stumbled on our location, and it was up from there, and we started in the pandemic, and that didn't stop us, and we thrived through that, and it's been a great journey. Was that 60 seconds? 60 seconds.
Hey, everybody. And it's not just myself with Red Rose Books, it's also my partner, Elizabeth Peters. We opened up in 2020 during the pandemic also. Liz had always had an aspiration to be a bookstore owner, and I had always had aspiration to have my own business. So we were to come together during 2020, during the pandemic, to open up that business together. And yeah, we both are big fans of literature, but also what literature does as far as bringing people together. So, yeah.
Clap it up. Thank you, guys. You keep it. Yeah, so for the next question, so we learned a little bit about your origin stories and how you got started. So we'd like to know who or what inspires you on your journey and keeps you moving and keeps you pushing every day. Because everybody knows being an entrepreneur is not easy. So who or what keeps you moving forward?
I'll take this one. I would say a couple people to come off minds would be the owners of Fox Duck, Ryan and Rebecca Keats, mostly because they are a couple who are running a business, and it kind of looks, you know, with me and Liz being a couple, we're able to look at them as like inspirations and mentors for what they're doing with their business. I would also say Elizabeth is my inspiration to keep on going and keep on being the best that I can be as far as the business goes. And then Tim Brell from Chiati. She's doing great stuff, and we like to watch what she's doing and try to be on par with that.
What inspires me is just creating a legacy for my kids, something that I can give to them, whether it's a restaurant or, whatever assets, I acquire over the years in my career, is to be able to hand that down to them because, like where I come from, my parents didn't have nothing, you know what I'm saying? So I always like, I wish my parents gave me that or I inherited that. So, just for me to work hard for something and be able to give to them is, what I do it for. So that's my why and why.
It's awesome.
So for me, like Jermaine, I came from nothing. I had to work for everything that I have. I'm the first person in my immediate family to have a business and do anything like this, and really the only one here that's kind of artistic. So I'm kind of just going on a whim and learning as I go. So just the drive of not having to go back to work for somebody is what pushes me every day. Also, other local business owners, such as Evita Cologne and Celise White down at Concrete Rose. I am also in Speak to My Soul with them, so I always turn to them whenever I need some sort of direction.
Awesome. Clap it up.
Woohoo!
So when we look at the landscape of entrepreneurship, it's not always representative of the community that businesses are in. As people of color, as entrepreneurs, diverse entrepreneurs, how do you see yourself and your business having a positive social impact in the community?
So for me, growing up in school, I didn't really see too many artists or entrepreneurs that were doing the things that I'm doing now. So being that and being able to give back and being that person that young girls and boys can see in themselves is really a big thing for me, and just being my authentic self and knowing that it is possible for it to be achieved is a really big one for me.
Ask the question again.
So one of the challenges is that we don't always see entrepreneurs that look like us in business ownership. So as a person of color, how does it feel, or how do you see your business having a positive social impact in the community as a Black-owned business?
I know a lot of younger guys, especially guys that I had come through, like work as dishwashers or chefs or cooks or whatever, and they look up to me. They speak to me like, I want to be like you. Or ask me questions like, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? And I have no, I'm whatever you need, bro. I'm gonna tell you and let you know how I started, what you should do, what not to do. The mistakes I make, and I feel like that's enough. Like just giving back to the people that surround you, because a lot of people, they like to keep on to, because they feel like everybody's competition, and I feel like it should never be like that. Like there's enough money for everybody, and I see a lot of people locally that is snobby and that's like that. So I vow to not be like that and put people on if I can, and give a helping hand and give them game in any situation that I can, because I have the experience to give them that. So that's what I'm saying.
To piggyback off of both of them, just not being a gatekeeper. A lot of people are going to ask questions. They're going to want to know more. So just us doing our best part of doing what we think is right, maneuvering the right way. So there's a lot of people who will come to the bookstore and be like, oh, I didn't realize this was, Black owned, but now that I know that, I'm going to come over. I feel like a lot of times when we grew up, it wasn't the quote unquote cool thing to be going to a bookstore or library. And we're hoping to change that mindset and showing like, hey, there's stuff you can learn here. We can be together and enjoy literature in different ways. So, yeah.
And just to piggyback off of that, round of applause.
Yeah, clap it up.
Yeah, it's super important to see, especially in industries that we don't normally have grown up in, to see representation. It helps inspire the next generation to say, wow, there's someone that comes from my community that looks like me. What is this about? And wants to experience it. So it's
exactly.
That's always a good experience.
I think your mic's low. Sound guy.
I just got to speak up.
Okay.
From the chest.
Yes.
Say it with your chest.
See, this is the problem when you have your friends up on the panel, y'all. So bear with us. We're going to edit some of this stuff out. It's okay. We're good.
You know what Kevin Hart says, say it with your chest.
Keeping it real and raw up here, guys. Yeah, so you guys earlier talked about how you look to other people in the community for support and inspiration. So I'm curious, what are other ways how the local community support and plays a role in your business's growth and sustainability, and how have you given back in return as well?
So for me, just being an artist and having people who genuinely support my work and want to buy it is the biggest support that I could have, because it literally pays my bills. But also just having the community where I can post a question on Facebook and not even being scared to ask questions, but I know that there's a community out there, people who follow me, who are able to give me the answers that I need or the direction that I need to go into. And ways that I give back is doing workshops and with young girls, like with the YWCA, Touchstone Foundation, local events, any way that I can, and like the painting to here today for Jess King. Things like that is what really drives me to give back in the community that I'm from.
Yeah.
We've actually done like turkey drives with Crispus Addicts. With Josh Hunter, and that was pretty cool. I also did like I guess like a mentor class to kids from McCaskey that was inspiring to be cooks or chefs or whatever. So like I actually had that particular day, I actually had them in the kitchen, showing them how to cut onions the proper way, you know, and just explaining how I got started. And I think that was really fulfilling, to be able to help those kids who actually wanted to be in the same industry, and, you know, they look up to you and, you know, they think that's pretty dope that you're doing it, you know, and like you said earlier, like they look like you know what I'm saying, because a lot of people don't want to do that. So that was fulfilling for me as far as like giving back. But thank you.
Yeah. I feel like when we first started the business, we kind of started very raw. We didn't know what we were doing. And there were a lot of bookstores who were kind of like, hey, we have these who are closing down or still in business. And they kind of said, hey, we have some extra bookshelves. We have some extra books. Do you want them on discount? And it was just very eye-opening to us, knowing that people were willing to support us and help us without even knowing me and Liz. And so seeing that, our mindset changed to be like, let's do the same thing, pay it forward. As far as, you know, where we can be sponsors to certain events, whether we can hold events that are pay what you want. That way everybody's able to afford to go into these events and stuff like that. And we continue to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Clap it up for that, guys. Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
And just really want to emphasize the power of local businesses and the fact that one of the beautiful things about Lancaster County is that we have entrepreneurs and business owners that love to give back. And it's another reason why we need to support local businesses, whether it's the folks up here or even the sponsors that you saw for this event. A lot of them are entrepreneurs, family-owned businesses that have decided to pay it forward. And you don't get that all the time. So that is such a cool, in my opinion, a cool reason to support local businesses, is that they're more likely to invest in the community that they're serving. So just want to give a quick emphasis on that side of things. So we all know entrepreneurship is a challenging journey, a lot of obstacles. One of my favorite sayings is that the obstacle is the way, right? You go through obstacles, you face adversity, because the answers that you're looking for are always on the other side. You don't avoid it, you don't go around it. There's no better way to test that theory than entrepreneurship. What is an obstacle that you have faced as an entrepreneur that taught you the most valuable lesson on the other side of it?
Oh, I'm first. Okay. For me, would be taking the leap to quit my part-time job and go full-time as an artist. It's still the scariest thing that I've ever done in my life. And sometimes, like a few months ago, I didn't know where my next check was coming from because I didn't make money in so many months. And then I booked so many things, and then I got a mural, so now I'm overbooked. So it's like you never really know being an entrepreneur when you're busy times are. So I'm still kind of working through the business side of things and grants and all of those things. It's still a lot to learn when you're self-taught and didn't go to college for business and all those other things. So things like assets and SCORE and other local organizations really help entrepreneurs get to that point.
To kind of give it, so like I feel like, you know, if you're painting and you're doing stuff like on the downside is becoming more creative with, you know, creating an online store or whatever it takes to move through those times, because I feel like that's kind of how SpiceKings thrive through the pandemic, was being different from everybody else and being able to, you know, switch to what was going on with the Grubhub and DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff like that, and just having a social media presence. Because I feel like now, if whatever you're doing, not just food in general, if you don't have that little bit of presence and that little bit of consistency, you know, people aren't seeing you, because the first thing people do when they wake up in the morning, they're looking at their phone. You know, what's the first thing they see on their phone is whoever's posting. So if you're not posting your business and you're not, you know, being active, because, you know, like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm pushing 40. So you know, it's kind of hard, like, staying fresh and you know, just being what people want to see on social media. You know, if you got to be funny, or, you know, you have a local comedian come and do something stupid in your establishment, you know, that's going to get a lot of views. That's going to turn you up for the week, you know, and people are coming in because, hey, I seen this guy doing this at SpiceKings, so I'm going to come in and see what it's about. So, you know, that's kind of like one of the main things that's helped me and been a challenge, like just staying fresh and being creative in this new wave, this new economy, because it's rough right now. So you just got to be fresh. You got to be on top of things, because, you know, people are overlooking you. They too wrapped up in their phone. So that's what I would say as advice to anybody, you know, older. You know, get somebody young to take over your social media, or you know what I'm saying? Because that's where the money's at right now. It's like nobody pays attention to anything. Like, not to down the newspaper or magazines, but, you know, they try to sell to us, and it's like, bro, nobody's really reading the newspaper. So, you know, maybe Lancaster Online is pretty cool. I watch every once in a while, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's the majority is people on social media. So it's like trying to be fresh and trying to be in that space. You know, I feel like you can thrive in these weird times, right? Correct? Everybody agree?
I agree.
Yeah. So.
I would say 2 different times when we opened the store. When we first opened up, like I said before, we were very raw. And the person who was in our space before, he was able to hang out, stay with us, and kind of teach us the ways as far as running a business, because he had just done the same thing. But also, we're a used bookstore, so there was a lot of limitations as far as people who wanted to order books. So we found the guidance from other booksellers who were able to sell newer books, and finding the way to not just be like one facet like bookstore. We were able to now just do both those things, and finding the ways of just being able to do that, you know, not just being just a one-shop store and stuff like that. So.
Cool. Clap it up. Woo! Thank you, guys.
This special podcast episode is built by the Lancaster County Community Foundation, which uses the transformational potential of community-based philanthropy and the power of endowment to help shape a Lancaster County where every individual is valued, has a sense of belonging, and has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you to our friends at the Lancaster County Community Foundation for making it possible to provide access to training and lending for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so you guys talked about some of the obstacles and hurdles you've had to go through as an entrepreneur and small business owner. You know, the world is constantly changing, the economy is constantly changing. So as Lancaster grows, and changes, what opportunities and challenges do you see on the horizon for small businesses and entrepreneurs in our region, and how can organizations like Assets help you guys and other small business owners and entrepreneurs?
For me, just providing the support for entrepreneurs and the guidance that we need when we reach out to you, like say if we're looking for like an assistant or things like that, which I probably need. But yeah, just being there for the community and finding ways that we all need as entrepreneurs to kind of take something off of our plate, as Jermaine said, like social media or the business sides of things that you guys are really good at, and we just want to do the things that we're good at. So it's nice to have those resources to reach in the community.
I'm sorry, but the base of the question again. Like, go ahead.
I got you.
We got to turn Jermaine's hearing aid up. That's what
I got you, Jermaine. All right, you ready? As Lancaster continues to grow and change, what opportunities and challenges do you see on the horizon for small businesses?
Okay, I got you. I remember. Sorry. So, I see there's a lot of, projects and new buildings and, communities that's being built. I feel like, that's only going to bring more business to us in the city. But as far as assets and how you guys will help us is through the hard times, I was able to link up with, what's his name? Denzel, my man Denzel. We got, yeah, there you go. Denzel giving us a nice little check to help with working capital. And, because not all the time is good times, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes there's bad times. So just stuff like that to help us through a little jam or whatever. And it actually helps us with building our business credit and, so we can expand and get to the next level. And that's where I've experienced, Assets really helping us out. And, I can't ask for nothing more. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, I think this is an important question because on the outside looking in, I've noticed there's a lot more retail spaces that are becoming more expensive as we, as a city, are growing. We're becoming more of an entrepreneur city, but the rents are going up very high, and it's making it hard for someone who's a retailer to take that plunge and to take that risk. And I think maybe even Assets working with people who own a plaza or a retail space, hey, maybe we have this incubator, we have this pitch and brew, maybe this person can use your space while you're looking for other people and they can practice that. I think that's important because we're not going to, I just don't want people to be hesitant to start their business if the rent is so high, and I think that's a big problem that I see moving forward.
Yeah.
Some very good insight. So if anyone in the audience has a question that they would like to ask our panelists, feel free to ready those up, and Chris Ballantyne is going to walk around with the mic to hand over in case you have a question to ask one of our panelists. But in the meantime, I'd like to ask, what advice would you give a young, aspiring entrepreneur?
To keep working, work hard. Even if you're working a job, come home and work on your business too, because you don't want to be working for somebody and then not coming home and working for yourself. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's a big one for me because I used to always feel very stupid for asking some questions, but now I do not care at all. I will ask whatever question to my Facebook, and it'll get hundreds of comments by the end of the day because I never really post anything, so people are on it. But yeah, just stay consistent and work hard and use the people around you who can help.
Yeah, I was kind of going to say the same thing. Don't be scared to reach out to people. You never know what, somebody's willing to do for you, or the advice they're willing to give you. So, shoot your shot, and the worst they can say is no. So I feel like that, and express your ideas to people. You know, don't hold it back. Don't, I'm gonna do it next week, or maybe I'm gonna wait till this. No, just go ahead and do it. Like, that's kind of how, like, I got started. Like, my partner, you know, we were, you know, in the works of creating this restaurant, and he was like, "Oh man, don't post it yet. I don't know, post it yet." I'm like, "No, it's posted already. Too late." You know, and it got crazy likes, and, you know, people start asking, like, "Yo, where you guys located? What are you doing?" So if you just, you know, trying to hold back or wait for the perfect time, there is no perfect time. Like, just do it, and just, you know, take the critics and take the, you know, whatever, because you're gonna get better. The bad reviews, whatever, is gonna get better. That's part of, you know, being in business, is taking hits and taking the bad, you know, with the good. Because, you know, if you work consistent and hard, it's always gonna turn out good, no matter what. You know, so that's my advice. Like, keep going, keep pushing.
I would say for someone who's looking for a brick and mortar, location is key, but character and consistency will take you wherever you want to go.
Agree. That was dope.
Like that. Awesome. Thanks. So, do we have any questions from our live studio audience?
There's some in the back.
Oh, we're making Chris get his steps in today. Wow, they're way back there.
They're in the parking lot.
Hello. I'm behind the bar.
We see you.
We see you behind the Patron bottle.
So in business, you know, I mean, I've never had a business, but I've heard in life, there can be hard times and there can be good times. So what is something that you do when you're feeling down or you're having a bad day to maybe get you out of that? And then on the opposite side, you know, what is something that you like to do when you're feeling really good and your business is booming? Yeah.
Thank you, Alma. I know your voice back there. So for me, a big one is self-care. A lot. I've been trying to make it a habit to take care of me because I'm the one who's doing all this work. So if I'm not taking care of myself, my business is not going to be what I want it to be. And I recently got these tattoos on my fingers that say inhale, exhale, because I need to remind myself to breathe a lot. But yeah, I'm doing a mural upstairs in Southern Market, so there's plenty of times where you guys probably see me walking around looking crazy or walking outside to take a breath, because that is, I find that what works for me. So yeah, self-care is a big one for me.
Your first question was on your bad days. So my bad days, I usually call my best friend Chico and vent to him. Just, you know, sometimes venting to your best friend, you know, that's your therapist. And on top of that, I'm a DJ, so listening to music, the music you listen to, you know, can get you out of that funk and get you in a good mood, you know. So if I'm in a restaurant and I'm prepping, you know, I'll put some Young Jeezy, Jay-Z on, you know, and just rock out before I get the day started. And, you know, that kind of transitions your thought, or it might take you to, you know, a pastime when you're happy, you know, and it might change your day, and just keep pushing through it, because, you know, tomorrow's not promised. So you know, you gotta fight through that, and don't ever let nothing keep you down, even in your work day. Like, I tell myself a lot, like, try not to take work home. Like, try not to, you know, something happened at work, I might talk about it, but don't let it affect, you know, me going home and feeling a certain way. Like, I'm just not gonna think about it. I'll think about it tomorrow when we open at 11. Like, you know, but, you know, just keep pushing through, you know, the times that's bad. And then when I'm having good days, you know, I might give somebody a free water or something. I don't know.
We did say they like to give back, huh?
I'd say bad days. Honestly, just like everybody else said, taking walks, but also just talking about it. So what's nice is having a partner. When I'm having a bad day, I can express myself, and vice versa. But when we're having good days, getting food for sure is the biggest thing. So.
Do we have another question? Over here, Nancy, Chris.
Somebody get him some Adidas pants.
Hey, Nancy Keeler, Alliance Development Group. I'm curious, I love small business, and I'm curious, what is a lesson that you've learned that's changed the way that you operate your business?
A big one for me recently, I have a SCORE mentor, and they told me to do administrative days on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, where like I pick 2 days out of the week. But for me, being an artist and my artist brain, it's very easy for me to stick to that and be able to do whatever I want the rest of the week and paint. So sticking hard to my boundaries is one that I've been taking in my life and in my business as well.
All right, Nancy, one more time.
A lesson you've learned that's changed how you operate your business.
Okay. I would say like operations. Like I'm gonna use this as an example. So the way our kitchen is set up, we had like fridges. We have like a small kitchen, so we had like fridges, and then we had our prep tables on this side and a freezer on this side. And I'm like, after working there, so I'm like, yo, it makes sense to have everything come from the stove, the fryer, to the prep table all the way in line instead of going like to the other side. So just like realizing like different operations and, what's a better way, and look at other people's, I be in, Chick-fil-A, just like looking at their kitchen, like how they got it set up. So, just taking those different ideas and like, all right, that's a better way. This is better than that. And I feel like that works in any industry, just take from other people and make it your own. And I feel like that's probably the best way.
I would say different personalities we had to get used to. So when people come into the store, me and Liz are very much like, hey, how's it going? We're a lot of energy. But then you meet people who are very much introverted and they don't say anything to you. And at first we're kind of like, oh, that's kind of rough. All right, rude. But then you realize, no, people are just uncomfortable. So we'd had to definitely work on the different types of people coming in the store and like adapting to what they're looking for and the type of speed as far as energy they're giving us. So yeah.
Awesome. I think we have time for one more question. I'm going to let you decide, Chris.
Just going through your SCORE journey, one highlight for each of you guys of like what you did expect or what you didn't expect, and just like one highlight of your experience and journey with assets.
With assets or with SCORE?
We'll be friendly, both, because we have some friends in the crowd here from SCORE. Shout out to SCORE.
Yeah, I'd say for SCORE, our mentor, shout out to Eric Parker, he taught us about having a sandwich board sign out there, but more one that you can like edit whenever you want to, as far as like a chalkboard sign, and whenever there's like events happening. Like we're located across the street from the Fulton Theater, so whenever they have a certain event, people coming in, like writing, hey, people from the Fulton, welcome, we have something going on here. Or something happening at the convention center, talking about that and putting it on our sandwich board so they know like we're here and we're supporting them. As far as the assets, everything in between, they've been seriously a huge help and a big inspiration just for our journey and learning what we didn't know when we first started and helping us like be ready for when we want to expand in the future.
I actually had a mentor with SCORE, and the biggest thing was pricing your food like off of each item. The rule of thumb is you charge 3 times what you pay for whatever item, whether it's steak or whatever, and that's how you kind of keep afloat, and that's how you come up with your prices for your, certain items. As far as assets, I mean, Jaime's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, just having him in your corner, you're gonna win. Just, seeing his growth through assets and, his mindset, he's never gonna tell you wrong. I vouch for him till the day I die. He's never gonna steer you the wrong way. He's gonna tell you the right way. And for some reason, it always works. So yeah.
So for me, one big thing that I took from my SCORE mentors was actually when I first had to get an EIN number was through a SCORE mentor, and they walked me through that whole process of doing so. And my mentor, Beverly Duty, never makes me feel stupid about asking any types of questions, and she helps me kind of plan my year around big projects I'm doing, which is really helpful. And Assets, beginning of the pandemic, I was able to receive a small grant from Assets that really helped me keep along, and I wasn't working full-time as an artist yet, but that kind of gave me hope, I can do this is possible. I think it was probably my first grant that I ever got was from you guys. So, and just being mindful of the businesses that you guys support, like me painting the portrait for Jess King, or you guys always reaching out and doing the BIPOC business events and things like that is really helpful for local entrepreneurs.
It's awesome. Clap it up. All right, so we have one final question. You guys ready for that? All right. So, what is your dream for the next 30 years? We are celebrating 30 years today. So, we want to know, what is your dream for the next 30 years? And what is the legacy you want to leave for others? And what are you trying to build?
Ooh, 30 years. That's far ahead to be thinking about.
Look into your crystal ball.
Yes, for me, is to hopefully still be creating art, obviously, and expanding into different communities and cities where my art hasn't been yet. Yeah, that's a big goal of mine, and even though I'm looking at it so far away, I have to try to take things day by day and do the work it takes to get up to that point, so.
As far as in business, why y'all keep turning my mic down? But as far as in business, I'm 36. I want to retire by 40, so I got a lot of work to do. But I'm for sure that's gonna happen. So that's my goal. That's what I want to do. I think me and my boys, we talk about this a lot. Just not being, just working but not working. And creating that so we can spend more time with our kids and spend more time with family. Because being an entrepreneur, when we started out, I was working 16-hour days. So, my goal has to be to have, I don't know what you call that, when it's working for you, what do you call that? I forget the name. Passive income. There you go. There's some smart people out there. But yeah, having passive income and, that's pretty much my goal for the next 30 years. I feel like freedom of time is priceless, and with that, you can live your dream, whatever you dream, whether it's vacations or, more time with kids or, go work at a mission or something. I don't know, but, the freedom of time is everything. So that's pretty much that, and set my kids up to where, I can give them something. I kind of said that earlier, but that's my dream in the next 30 years is to create that and, create a big family that is successful. Not just me, put your mans on and your everybody else, that's the goal. Not just, for self, but for the community and your close ones, people that deserve it, not just anybody, people who deserve it, you should put on, and, not scared to work and put the work in, because those are ones that you need to carry with you, and that's what I feel like is what's going to help me get to the passive income and get to what I need to for my kids.
Something Liz and I talk about is looking backwards. We want to make sure that we can say that we were bridging different demographics and groups together, no matter what that could be. And also that we can be like the forefront of selling books in Lancaster. So if you need books, let us know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap for the Built by Us podcast, the special live episode. Let's give a round of applause for our special guest this evening. And if you're interested in learning more about Assets entrepreneur training and community lending programs, feel free to visit assetspa.org. There are also QR codes on your tabletops that if you put your phone there and take a little snap, you'll pop up a link tree. You're welcome to learn more about our programs, as well as donate to support the mission. So feel free to check that out. In addition, I'd like to welcome everyone to join us to our upcoming open house to learn more about assets. That's going to be taking place on Thursday, November 9th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. right here in Southern Market. Our offices are right upstairs where that banner hangs with our name and logo. So please feel free to stop by and share with your friends. If you have someone that has an idea, is an entrepreneur themselves, and can be a benefit to assets or could be benefited by assets, please share that information. In addition, our friends at the Lancaster County Community Foundation are hosting the Extra Give on Friday, November 17th, and we would love if you could continue to support Assets mission by giving an extra 30 for the next 30. With that, thank you all for joining us today. Appreciate you all being here.
This is the Built by Us podcast, brought to you by Assets. Visit us at assetspa.org to learn more about the products and services we provide, and you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube.